For the very latest on KD, Kawhi, Kyrie, Butler, Kemba, and Clay, we've got Woj Bombs, we've got Jalen, we've got Stephen A, and the best NBA analysis in the business. Free Agency Week starting 8 Eastern on ESPN2 with special editions of Get Up in the afternoon starting 4:30 Eastern live on ESPN and the ESPN app. All right, the basketball is going to be hot and heavy next week, but it's busy already this morning with Jay Will here and Jalen there, and we're ready to run the floor. Jalen, here we go. We start with former Knick, Kristaps Porzingis. Rumblings he's going to get a max offer, 5 years, $158 million from the Mavericks. Jalen, are you willing to max out Porzingis right now?
Absolutely, and if you're the Dallas Mavs, this goes into your thinking, Greeny, when you acquire him from the New York Knicks. You want to pair him with Luka Doncic. I'm pretty sure there's some people in the Mavs franchise that he reminds them a lot of Dirk Nowitzki. He's going to be a 20-point scorer. He's going to get a couple of blocks per game. I think he's a really talented young player. I'm excited to see him and Luka play together. Let's see if they can add a couple of more pieces. Thinking about Al Horford.
I'd be very concerned about injury, though, is the one thing with Porzingis. Meanwhile, also in the free agent bonanza, according to Woj, Nets breakout guard D'Angelo Russell is at the top of the wish list for the Lakers. Jalen, we all know the history there in LA. What's your reaction to a potential return?
I'm happy for D'Angelo Russell's resurgence. I felt like getting out of Los Angeles was going to be the best thing for him, and it was, while he thrived with the Nets this year. But if you notice all of the highlights that you're showing, he got the ball in his hands. And the strength of his game is scoring, and he's a terrific passer. He has a great feel for the game. Not necessarily an explosive athlete, not necessarily a defender. Don't like that really for the Lakers.
And then let me get to this. This is not free agent news, but I was struck by this when I saw these comments from Orlando Magic general manager John Hammond about Markelle Fultz and his progress this summer. The comments do not make it sound like Fultz is anywhere near being ready to play. Bear in mind, he was the #1 overall pick in the draft. And Hammond said, quote, he's working extremely hard. He's in good shape. His weight is good. His overall body fat percentage is very good. So if you look at him, you think, wow, he looks great. Also in those comments, he said he's not going to play Summer League, and he doesn't appear to be anywhere near being ready to play. So, Jay, Will, let me start with you. What is going on with Markelle Fultz, a guy who a year and a half ago, they traded up to make him the #1 pick in the draft?
I don't think anybody knows. He's only played 33 games. He stepped his feet on the floor 33 times. And, for the GM John to come out and say, hey, he has no body fat. Like, that's the first thing I saw. I was like, we're talking about his body fat? Like,
yeah.
When is he going to play? I've never heard of that injury before. I hope he can come back. I want the best for Markelle because I think he's a great individual. I just don't know much planning if you're a GM and for your franchise you can put into that asset long term.
Jalen, what's going on?
This is the most bizarre thing we've ever seen from a #1 overall pick in the draft. Now, for the Orlando Magic, they got a chance to buy low. For the Philadelphia 76ers, you traded a pick and the opportunity to draft Jason Tatum for Markelle Fultz. You better re-sign Jimmy Butler. You better re-sign Tobias Harris, or their assets are going to continue to be depleted. I'm just really hoping for the best for him as a young man, because if he's in shape and he looks like he's the part, but yet he can't get out on the floor, we know the game is more than just physical. It's mental, it's emotional, it's psychological. Seems like there are a lot of issues that have to get ironed out before he's able to play NBA basketball.
J. Rose, I want to ask you something because you've been known to put down a couple of dunks in your time as well. All the dunks that we're seeing him do back in the day, like, the reverse clutch and coming from here, wouldn't that affect your shoulder to some degree? Like, if that's thing, so your shooting motion, you can do all that, but then it gets here. That has to be right here, though, right, Jay? That has to be psychological.
Absolutely. It has to be psychological. And look no further than when he was double pumping at the free throw line. That let me know that something was going on psychologically. And Ben Simmons, in a different way, is affected by the same thing. Greeny, Jay, Ben Simmons is a perennial all-star and doesn't attempt shots outside the paint. I didn't say doesn't make shots. I said doesn't attempt shots outside of the paint. So he and Markelle Fultz have that in common. But for Markelle Fultz, again, a guy that went #1 overall in the draft, I'm just rooting for him as a young man. I'm not even necessarily focused on him as a basketball player anymore.
And now in the 2017 draft, you have the number 1 and number 2 pick that were both traded from their teams to other teams.
Yeah, it's incredible how quickly all that stuff turned. Jalen, outstanding. Thank you so very much, my man. We will see you tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, we will turn our attention here right now to some football. There's been a lot of discussion in recent weeks about how much freedom Aaron Rodgers will and will not have to audible out of plays in Matt LaFleur's new offense in Green Bay. On yesterday's show, the topic came up again after Brett Favre basically said, let Aaron Rodgers play his game. And we had a fairly lengthy discussion and debate about this on the show yesterday. So we gave Bobby Carpenter a little homework. And we said, basically, I'm sure a lot of fans are sitting home thinking, well, what exactly does this look like, Aaron, going to the line of scrimmage and making whatever decisions he's making? So that's your job. Show us what it looks like.
Well, so first of all, in the 2-minute situation, Greeny, that's when quarterbacks are going to be able to start calling their own plays. We're going to look at the Lions here. It's under 2 minutes in the game. It's a 3rd down. Aaron Rodgers sees the linebackers and safeties roaming around. He understands they're beginning to creep up to the line of scrimmage. So he called a play at the line. He understands that they're probably not going to be in the same defense. So he's taking from soup to nuts. He's going to adjust the play. He's going to adjust the coverage. He's going to kick the back over to help pick up the pressure. Now, looking at this, he knows there's no one now in the middle of the field. It's a 2-minute situation. It's 3rd and 2. He has man-to-man across the deck. A lot of guys would say, hey, let's just run a slant and pick up the 1st down. Oh, not with Aaron, sir. We're going downtown, and we're going to start running this thing up. And now he does what he does best, dropping it in there to Jordy Nelson. You couldn't ask for a better situation in under 2 minutes.
Now, that fascinated me because you just showed me the wide open middle of the field, and that isn't where he went at all.
No, it wasn't. He decided to go outside to what he thought was a better throw. He had an opportunity in the slot there. Didn't like that. He was going to go to his guy, Jordy Nelson, where it's one-on-one, and he picked the best matchup moving forward. Now I'm going to show you another one here.
Yeah.
That's with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Marcus' team. You got 2 safeties, cover 2. That's what they run. He's going to see the tight end flexed here. I need to find a way to occupy that safety on the backside with the route combination. So he picks this route. Safety locked in to help the corner. Aaron Rodgers staring him down to keep the safety there. Boom, on the backside. Last play of the game, Packers win. That's what he can do in quick situations for you.
And the first thing I thought of when I saw that, Marcus, and for those of you, I'm not sure how well you could see it, there were 16 seconds left and they were down by 3 in the 4th quarter. So a field goal ties the game there, so he has to be careful about that. That's one of the things I would wonder. A coach, is he going to let him make a risky decision like that? He throws that ball and it's picked, and it's a terrible moment right there. What do you make of that?
So here's the point we've been talking about, G. You can't take that away from him, right? Once he identifies something, you cannot take that away from him. The first play, Detroit is terrible for giving up their disguise that early, bringing that safety down. You hold that as late as possible. But here's the thing with Aaron Rodgers. When it comes to playing football, you can have everything right, and he can still beat you. Because the thing that they didn't show, that Bobby didn't show in these tapes, if you go zero coverage, which that was man-to-man, and one of your blitzers miss, he's fast enough to run a touchdown as well.
Yeah.
That's what makes Aaron Rodgers dangerous. We have never in the history of this league seen a dude as dynamic with his arm as he is with his legs. And he's so smart once he breaks the pocket.
And here's another piece. We're talking before the show here. Tom Brady, you feel like he gets the ball in 2 minutes? Marcus, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
We don't have a chance. Aaron Rodgers gets the ball. It's 2 minutes, it's over. Not just because they're accurate, because they're going to put you in the right play each and every time. The coach can't do that for you on the field. So you don't want to take that away from this man. You want to give him the opportunity, help him with it, but don't try to restrict him, because that's going to have a bad relationship with your guy.
Absolutely, but it's got to be a working relationship. You cannot come out and say, I ain't listening to that dude. I'm going to do my thing. It's got to be a working relationship.
This conversation is taking place as widely as it is, I think is some cause for concern. I'd love to keep talking about this, but right now, I insist we talk golf. And I Insist is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. And let's talk about a little golf here. And you know what's coming up, guys?